Welcome to our YouTube channel, everyone. I'm Sean. This is my lovely wife, Jessie. So our first episode is mostly about how we bought Gone with the Wind and how we did everything wrong.
So after moving across the U.S. twice, we were looking at settling down again, and we were looking at purchasing a house maybe in the Rocky Mountains this time. But while we were doing that, we actually stumbled across a couple of YouTube sailing channels, and thanks to Delos and Seawolf and Wicked Salty, our dream of owning a sailboat and cruising across the world and seeing the world became our new goal in life.
And just to clarify, Jessie has no sailing experience. I've worked on tugboats on the mighty Mississippi River for years. I've taken sailing lessons, but I still consider myself a novice sailor at best. So there is a lot to learn, and we're eager to take on that task.
So decisions were made and a plan was put into action, or so we thought.
As we began searching the boat market on sailboat listings, Yacht World, and eBay, we narrowed down what we were looking for in a boat. Our ideal boat was 36 to 42 feet in size. It definitely had to have a center cockpit, as we liked the layouts better and preferred having an aft cabin. A low draft of 5 foot or less so we can cruise shallow waters. And my main concern was that there was no companionway steps over the galley countertops. I just can't handle people stepping over my kitchen counter. Then we found Gone with the Wind on sailboatlistings.com, a 1972 Gulfstar 36. She was listed for $48,000. We liked the look of the boat, the layout of the boat, and I loved the name. How could any true Southern girl not? Gone with the Wind qualified for all the requirements we had for our sailboat, except the price was out of our budget and overpriced in our opinion. And of course, it was way too soon for us to purchase a boat.
Let's talk numbers for a moment. We saved $30,000 to put down on a house. We scratched that idea. We decided to use that money towards buying a turnkey sailboat ready to go. But the size boat that we could afford isn't what we were looking for. So we focused in on the size boat that we want that would need some repairs, like what you find from Boat Angel on eBay. Also, we planned on staying in Colorado for 2 years to save up for our cruising kitty. So once we have the boat, we have everything we need for the boat. We can enjoy the boat and not be totally broke.
A few months pass and we discover a new listing for Gone with the Wind at a drastically reduced price. Our radars were going off thinking that this had to be a scam. But after contacting the owner and receiving a valid 2-year-old survey of the boat, we decided it was worth the price of a plane ticket to see if this was legit. Feeling hopeful, Sean flew out to Florida with cash in hand just in case he liked what he saw. Of course, what he saw was not at all what was advertised. And in order for Sean to even view the boat that was anchored in West Palm Beach in front of the Trump Towers, Sean had to deal with all this.
So the boat's just anchored right there. Mr. Nate, the owner, is taking this one-man kayak. Looks like he's getting all wet to go get a dinghy to pick me up so I can go look at the boat.
All we have is this photo of Sean riding in the blow-up raft to inspect the boat. He was far too nervous to get the camera wet since he had gotten soaked along the ride himself. The current condition of Gone with the Wind wasn't at all as listed, and although Sean got the engine started, he wasn't able to keep it running. However, the structure seemed solid, she was relatively dry for an older boat, and besides the engine issue, most of the damage seen was purely cosmetic. So we decided to take a chance and made an offer. Nate accepted and they immediately transferred the title.
Boom! Gone with the Wind is ours.
So we're pretty sure that you're dying to know how much we paid for Gone with the Wind. Well, it wasn't anything close to $48,000. And as a matter of fact, it was a lot closer to just about 10% of that. So for those of you that don't like to do math, that's about $5,000, people. That's all.
Has anyone noticed what we've done wrong already?
In case you missed it, We never contacted a broker.
which isn't necessary all the time.
Sean had to ride in a blow-up raft that was leaky just to see the boat. We had no survey done before we purchased the boat. Now that we own the boat, we have no marina to store her at. And due to several complications, we have no insurance for the boat either right now.
So I made an agreement with Nate. He had so much property on this boat that he felt he needed 2 weeks to remove it. So my plan was to fly back into Florida 2 weeks later, get the boat, and move it to a marina.
So the marina that we ended up finding is called the Pahokee Marina, and it sits in southern Florida on Lake Okeechobee. So more inland, it gives us a little bit more protection from storms and things like that. And one of the most important things though was the dockage fee. It's only $225 a month, which is less than half price of anything that we found all along the coastline. So it became really affordable for us, which was really important. So the only thing left to do is to move Gone with the Wind on over to Pahokee Marina.
Sean travels back to Florida 2 weeks later, meeting up with his brother to move the boat to Pahokee Marina, while I stayed home with the dogs in Denver. So how do you move a boat with no working engine? Well, this is how Sean did it.
Where are we? We're about North Palm Beach right now, on the east coast of Florida. I bought this dinghy. I'm gonna mount this baby up, and hopefully we don't crash into any of those boats, because it's like a, what is it, a minefield, right?
Yeah.
Of fucking $1 million boats?
Find the boat, you do.
Okay. So that's what we're up against.
This is by no means safe, and I definitely don't recommend it. I'm pretty sure this is also why Sean didn't want me to come. Eventually, though, they settle into a groove heading up the less crowded parts of the ICW. While many boats were courteous and slowed down when passing, some seemed to intentionally speed up. After about 20 miles and 14 hours of traveling up the ICW, the dinghy finally succumbs to all the fast boats in their wakes, and the transom rips from the sides of the boat. They are now stranded with no working engines, left to anchor just past Jupiter, less than halfway to their destination. Luckily for Sean, sometime later 2 kind fishermen, Mitch and his son, young Mitch, were nice enough to stop and ask if they needed help. Mitch offered to pull Gone with the Wind to their hometown of Stuart, Florida, which was en route still to the Pahokee Marina. They even knew of a protected free anchorage in the St. Lucie River that Gone with the Wind could anchor at until Sean returned. Problem solved, right?
Thanks for watching our first episode. The most common question we've gotten so far is, where do you plan on sailing? For us, the journey is the destination. We aren't in a hurry to sail around the world. Owning a sailboat and having the ability to visit all of our dream destinations, that's always been our goal, and we're so close. As you can see, we're still in beautiful Colorado. Within a few weeks, we'll be road tripping to South Florida, where Gone with the Wind's waiting for us.
So if you like our video, let us know by giving us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. That way you can catch on to episode 2 and Limbo on St. Lucie River. Thanks, y'all.